Today, we're going to be talking about VTubers and V-streamers. We're going to find out, is it a trend or is it here to stay? Okay. Don't overthink it, Dylan. Don't overthink it.
It is just like WWE wrestling.
I'm camera ready all the time.
You guys are totally not PogChamp right now.
So
Don't reveal your identity, bro.
I've been looking at VTubers for way too long.
That.
What did they do?
I don't know if I want to smell anime girls.
Dragon
No,
Jutsu, brother.
this just got serious.
Yes. Let's go.
Nick, you are somebody who has talked to a secret agent. We'll call her Agent V. And she is a VTuber, a V-streamer. So tell us, what have you learned and what exactly is a VTuber?
So a VTuber primarily is anyone that uses an overlay to mask their identity. It doesn't necessarily need to involve anime. Most of the time it is, just because that's kind of what's more trending per se. I mean, there is also some contention on what classifies a VTuber. Some people say as far as Annoying Orange is a VTuber, and then a lot of people are very only anime style people as well are only VTubers. So there's a lot of contention in the community as well. I just think it's fun. Annoying Orange is a VTuber.
Okay, so you're the more generalized is your opinion. Okay.
Wasn't there a gun that was a VTuber? It was just like a gun with eyes.
There's
and a lamp,
lamp
that turned on when they would talk. Yeah, like,
yes.
Who's to say? Who's to say?
So I would actually qualify those more so as VTubers rather than Annoying Orange, just for the fact that those people have that overlay. They're streamers more so. But I still think it's fun to say that Annoying Orange was one of the first VTubers.
And so...
Such a troll.
It is.
So, like, if it's a static image, it can't be a VTuber. That's just like a podcast or a radio voice with an image. So that has to be something that interacts visually, right?
So there's also this thing called a PNG tuber. So it's similar to VTubing and the 2D models, but it's more so just a it's pretty much just a drawing with kind of just open mouth animation or like blinking as well. It doesn't necessarily like follow as well as like the 2D models do, because they have that tracking software, so it kind of attaches to that person and they can kind of move around.
But it has some interaction. Because that's where I draw the line. It feels like if it's not moving, then it's not a VTuber.
So PNG tubers, they don't have to have that face cam. All they have to do is have a mic. And so that just straight up just moves the mouth of what their animation is. And then they can also have like certain hotkeys as well to like have like animations as well of other things. Like they can...
That's what you do with your Stream Deck.
With my Stream Deck, yeah, you can trigger a voice or certain movement. So you were talking about PNG tubers,
PNG
right?
tubers, yes.
Where it's just a file and then you can trigger some type of action or voice. I mean, that's what I use my Stream Deck for, where it's like if I want to trigger a sound or a macro action, I can do that by just pressing a button. So that's something like what they do.
Exactly.
So you could tie that into the software?
Oh, yes, yes.
Like the PNG software or whatever.
That's a big thing with a lot of streamers, because more of the popular VTubers as well. So what they do is they actually map like certain emotions and everything to certain keys and whatnot. They have different animations as well. Like a big popular one is like smoking or something like that. So they have one that like grabs a cigarette, puts it in his mouth, and then smokes, so you could, or something like that.
So you would program something like that into that. So you would charge probably like $10 for the top left, $5 for the top right, and then
you can
would tell your audience, I'll press this button if I get $5.
So that's similar to what CodeMiko does, but more so what VTubers use it for is just kind of animations to kind of go along with them being a character and kind of making it more so themselves to kind of give that emotion as well to their characters. So if they're playing a game and they're scared, they might have like a scared key where like their face gets like flushed and it's got like, you know, the blue in the anime
or something like that.
Yeah, the blue anime flush.
Gotcha.
If they're angry, they got the I forget what it's called, but the little symbol on the top.
Oh yeah.
What do you use your Stream Deck for?
I use my Stream Deck for live streaming. So just to trigger...
So those are different camera angles or something usually? Or what do you normally have
like different scenes that I build in OBS or in Ecamm. Then each scene I program, it'll just trigger one when I press it. Or if I'm showing a PDF, it'll turn the pages. Or a sound, applause, or laughing will play.
And what software... OBS? Is that what you said?
OBS, so Open Broadcasting Software, I believe it is. It's a free live streaming software.
That is what almost everybody
Anybody
uses.
on a PC
Even
definitely
the VTubers?
Basically
that.
everybody.
So does it have a plugin for VTubing?
I am unaware of
that.
I don't know. Maybe.
There's so many plugins. I mean, I use Ecamm because I'm on a Mac, but OBS is completely customizable as well. And you can trigger anything.
So I actually almost got into VTubing, and I kind of still might actually eventually do that. But so
Don't reveal your identity, bro.
I like that.
I wouldn't be too worried about it.
But what if they match your voice up? Now
I'm not
you're gonna
worried.
Expose yourself.
I wouldn't necessarily do VTubing specifically to keep my identity safe, because I do plan on hopefully making future videos.
You think it's a good business?
I wouldn't even do it for the money. I would do it just for fun and for content. Okay. So with Agent V, which is my friend that is a VTuber currently, their group is called the Graveyard Shift.
Okay.
And so the way that me and that group kind of chatted and talked about what I could possibly do would be kind of, are you guys familiar with cryptids? What that kind of is? No. So it's like Loch Ness Monster, Chupacabra, stuff like that.
Cryptids? Not helping
I've heard of Chupacabra. Yeah.
Chupacabra.
I've heard of the Loch Ness Monster, but I don't feel like that gives me any tips into what this group is.
Cryptids are more so like regional myths, monsters, and everything like that in between.
Okay, gotcha.
So
they're NFTs, or they're just like...
No, it's just lore. It's like old legends.
Okay, gotcha.
So like Mothman, have you heard of that?
No, but now that I know we're talking about lore. Now that you're talking about lore...
Mothman? Yeah, cryptids are a very interesting thing. So kind of what my design would be is I'd be a 7-Eleven in an interdimensional area. And so I would have like that behind me, and then like every so often, just randomly during the stream, if it's kind of like dull or something, I would have my stream deck. And so I'd play like loud like monster noises or something, and then I would like kind of like freak out, be like, Jerry, why are you in here? Or just like give them names and everything, kind of have personalities with monsters and stuff like that.
This is like writing a book or having a story. Like you're going to come up with the character. Exactly. You're going to have the things that you do that make sense to your...
So it would more so be me playing a character rather than me being me. Yeah. And that's a big thing with VTubing as well, is a lot of these people have these characters. That is definitely like a category of people that are VTubers, is they kind of are just a character. That's how they are.
So a young, like J.K. Rowling, if she was in a different era, she might have thought, I'll start with VTubing. I'll create something like a Harry Potter. I'll put the glasses on a character, and then I'll start saying what Harry Potter would say and create that world around it.
Yes, I think that could be a possibility. Yeah. I very much see that as a possibility.
So you think some of these VTubers might turn into huge IP, like something Disney might own one day, right? Like someone just starts.
I think that is possible. I think right now I wouldn't say it's niche, but it's a very trending topic. And a lot of the people coming into VTubers right now is a lot of artists and people that don't want to show their face, or people that would like to stream and they don't want to have their identity out there, or they have like a disability or something like that, and they're just uncomfortable with the way that they look. So they're able to mask that, feel a little bit more comfortable, and then just kind of show their art. Because a big thing on Twitch as well is if you don't have a face cam, you're not going to get many views. So VTubing is a very, very good way to still have a face cam, kind of show emotion, and have people come in while not necessarily like exposing, yourself and your identity when you don't feel comfortable with that. So a lot of the new emerging VTubers currently are a lot of artists that do their own rendering and everything like that, and then that's kind of what it mainly is. That's more so the community that I'm familiar with and I'm closer with, and that I know people personally in.
So how do, when you're helping a client, how do you get them to show their personality online? Or is that, that must apply.
I mean, I have a background. I'm a professional commercial photographer too. So I used to do the, hey, smile, or do this, or hold your neck out so that it looks better. So I'm used to getting people to relax or look natural on camera. But from what you're saying, I mean, I do it for the money. I would just, because for me, as a female, too, it's just having to do my hair, having to do my makeup, having to look alive and not tired going on camera. That'd be great to be able to live stream and not have to be ready per se. I could just, I'm camera ready all the time.
Well, you actually wake up at 3 p.m. Oh, I need to stream. You can just start.
Right. That's I can't do that. I can't just go live.
I could see that though, because a certain stories have appealed to me, like Sherlock Holmes type or something, and it would be fun to be okay, today we're going to investigate something, and then you just cover yourself up and give the Sherlock Holmes look, and you're the pipe and the mystery, in a way that I just couldn't by just putting Dylan.
It's very funny that you say that, because on Hololive they have one of their English streamers that was the first generation of them is actually Watson.
Bring him
Amelia.
up.
Yeah, Watson Amelia. That is one of the more popular ones of that kind of genre. She is a detective. That's her whole backstory and everything like that.
How come it feels like they're all women? Are men
There are
there
a
are
few
men
men,
ones.
but
I saw a few men ones,
or 20% of this world.
See,
Or?
the demographic that these people are more so catering to for the higher quality is more so cute anime girl.
Oh no! See, I wanted something more. I wanted something more like Batman style. That was all cartoony.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but she has different models and everything. But her whole thing
Like Tomb
is
Raider style would be sweet.
her whole thing is that she's a detective. Like that's like her thing.
So she makes up a crime and solves it on her channel each episode or something like that, or it's not like that. Okay,
It's just that's her
But
lore.
that
That's
could be
like
your
her
space, man.
background, and
Oh,
that's
I
kind of
see.
like the similar humor that
does she
people
normally
interact
cover
with.
like true crime and like stuff, or is it just?
It's
she
just
says
video
whatever she
games.
wants? Okay,
You're like,
Yeah, it's
Not
pretty much
quite.
just video
don't
games.
overthink it. Don't overthink it. I just
it's
gotta
more
go.
so
Like,
Just go with the flow. Just go with the. No, I would like this because I used to write. So this is great. I can make up any story. It seems like the more you invest into the story, more the fan base grows, and they know things that someone who's new wouldn't know. And it looks like they have really loyal audiences here.
Very, and they pander more so to
so interesting.
weebs and everything like that, just because those are a very, very reliable base of people that don't
here's a
do
guy,
much
yeah.
else outside of either watching anime or watching something. So they incorporate that into their daily life.
Wow.
So
Did you come across anyone that was doing dinosaur stuff or like the Matrix? Those are like,
I have not.
or what
personally.
about Rick and Morty? Someone from Rick and Morty's like universe?
I have not.
Oh,
It's mainly just anime, and it's mainly just
mostly anime. Okay.
Ironmouse is a very, very
Yeah, explain who's
top
I
level.
have no idea. Explain
So,
Ironmouse.
her
Explain all the big
lore is
people.
she is Satan incarnate. She is Satan. Like that is her thing. That is who
So
she
her
is.
character always does evil things.
Kind of. It's
Or-
more so in a cutesy, nefarious way. That's kind of how I would describe it. That's the closest I can get.
This is Ironmouse.
Yes. Ironmouse is also one of the few VTubers that was kind of first to get into the emergent area of just streaming in general. So talking more so to like famous streamers like Ludwig, for example, or OTV. That's a big group. That's streamers. That's a streamer house actually. So she was kind of friends with them in the beginning.
Gotcha.
So she was one of the few people that was very, very friendly with so many different people. So
she
like
does
right here,
interviews?
this is Ironmouse and Sykkuno. So Sykkuno is not normally a VTuber, but like these people have these VTuber avatars that make it so they don't necessarily have to show their face because it's just a very trending thing at the time. So the big names that started this were Sykkuno, Lily Pichu had one as well. She's an artist. She's been on YouTube for quite a
OTV
while.
now, yeah.
And then Pokimane, which is probably the biggest out of all three, if not Sykkuno. Those two are very, very big. And so Pokimane actually gained a lot of controversy when she was talking about becoming a VTuber because it was just so much easier. And so a lot of people either loved that or didn't like it. So there was a lot of debate on what VTubing is going to turn into because of all these people becoming so comfortable with it and just it's so much easier than streaming with your face.
They were just mad because they were like, a big creator taking a thing from a small creator, you
Correct.
know? And it was like,
Look
hey,
at these
man,
camera angles.
they look
like,
fun. Why would you would want to try it?
I know,
Not
no, I
anybody
mean,
can
we
just
can
do
do-
that. There's camera
Yeah, why
angles
be
and
mad
zoom
about
in.
it?
And
Yeah, I mean, to do it all digitally and
Because
if the software talks to someone else and instead of doing like crappy Zoom screens, you can just like be all animated together in the same room. And yeah, if the software understands certain kind of interactions, like who knows where the future could take it.
no, I'm doing
Because when
this.
you're live with your face, you are so limited with what you can do.
Yeah.
Like you can have a green screen behind you, but it's not necessarily the same because you're still there. You're
Yeah.
still that constant. But with this, you can constantly change, and it's super
Yeah.
nice and adaptive.
Well, and you know, like obviously anime characters have bigger eyes than a human could ever have. But
Yes.
that's where
I
you
have big
express
eyes.
from your eyebrows can do kind of elevation that you couldn't in real life, making you super surprised.
Window to the soul.
I guess in a way you can communicate better, I guess, than like a regular face.
It's just easier to communicate as well because you're not worrying about so many things. You can
I
just
know.
be more so yourself and how you want to be, and you
Yeah.
don't have to control every facet of
Right.
what you're doing at that moment.
Yeah.
I've never even had a
It's
tail.
very
Yeah.
freeing.
You're right.
I
And
mean,
like
what's
the
it like to have a tail? Now I know.
like the CodeMiko thing, you could set up entire environments in Unreal Engine and just go ham with what you can do.
Exactly.
Is that
you
the
want to.
future? Is it getting 3D, Unreal Engine, and
So-
Unity and all that stuff?
3D is far more expensive than the 2D format. So
Do
like
you find
these
the
right
3D
here
who's
are
doing the
2D.
highest level stuff?
Miko,
CodeMiko most definitely is.
That's full 3D.
That's what I'll be doing.
That's where you're going to start at the highest level?
Well, yes, because I'll be in the metaverse for my
Yeah,
podcast.
that's true. Why not? Just go there.
So you'll be an avatar, you'll be an avatar, I'll be an avatar.
This is going to be the future for sure.
Azune AI is also another 3D model because she was one of the first ones. So it's actually a person in a room with a motion capture suit on. So it's very similar to this. It is far more expensive, and that's why a lot of people flocked to that at the beginning, is because this wasn't like technology everyone had. It was very expensive to get into, and it was also very impressive, and it was groundbreaking. It was very, very new to everyone.
Are we watching a video? Is she gaming right now, or is she VTubing?
This is her area. She created this in Unreal Engine.
And this is old. This is an old video too, so she's doing like crazier stuff now.
Wow.
Yes.
But that's just her playing it as a game.
Right. And she can switch back from the mocap suit or switch to this, so she can control it with a controller.
Yeah.
So she can move around from area to area and have different backdrops and then go back into the mocap suit. So she just changes which area she's in.
But you're right. I guess if you just program the camera to just turn around and look at your face, you might as well be, now you're VTubing, you know?
Yeah.
If you're watching a stream and interacting with something or sharing your thoughts. So now she's VTubing.
Yeah, well, she's the mocap suit now. Now it's all controlled by her body.
It's all blending together. I can't put labels on it. It's
but in
one.
no way would I ever say that this is like standard. This is like
Miko
next
is,
level.
yeah.
CodeMiko is the future, quite literally.
But that will be standard. If you want to prepare for it, this will probably be accessible for anyone with a few $100 once mocap suits are in every
$2,000.
I don't know about that because she engineers a lot of the stuff herself, so it's a lot of her own private knowledge being used.
She just opened a new studio, like basically doing it for people because it was really.
Gotta admit, that's pretty awesome. So
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
like
So
she's
awesome.
like putting the time in and learning the skills, and she's the personality.
But like
Yeah.
you said, it's sad though because people won't be able to
Barrier
do
to
this
entry.
anymore. Yeah, barrier to entry. Like it'll raise the bar,
Yeah.
the barrier to entry.
Yeah.
If this is what they expect for VTubing.
Well, but also maybe she's a great influence, and like all these young women are going to be like, you know what? I loved what she did, and I can learn to code if she
no,
can.
I'm going to
you know?
do it, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying for other people, it'll be
Right,
sad.
we're not worried about you.
It is a big barrier and it is hard to get into, especially since she's been developing this over years, many years.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is a
that's
skill
cool.
that she's honed for a long
It is
time.
interesting.
That's cool.
Especially like it's weird to think about aging too, because she could probably in 10 or 15 years still be the same character, and maybe she'll
Yes.
license it out for different TV shows, or
Yes.
you know, I mean, she might in some way be creating something kind of immortal. I mean, that's maybe not mortal, but like it'll just be interesting that her personality is digital like this.
Yeah, man, we stand for women in STEM, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And did we cover all the big people? CodeMiko is the number. If you only know 3 people, who should you know? Oh,
Yeah.
it's David. David, tell me what
That's
you
a
know
good one.
about all the top VTubers.
Oh, well, I know CodeMiko, and I know about as much as these less than he knows, honestly.
Oh, so Zen is very, very interesting. So
Click on Zen.
we were
Zentreya?
looking at her earlier.
What's the story behind her?
So she actually doesn't use her real voice. She uses speech to text and then text to speech.
What?
So her voice is, or it might even be a man. We really don't know, but it is.
So this
a
one is
dragon
a
woman.
true identity cover.
Yes, and then that's Projekt Melody. That's another very, very famous one that there's been a few, not necessarily controversial things, well, that as well, but there's a lot of kind of emerging ethical problems that has come from that.
So the is it engaging enough though? Like,
People like it.
and what about like speech to tech? Like autocorrect errors are probably rampant.
That's what I was
comedy.
saying. That's what I was saying.
Unless she's typing the whole thing up first.
She doesn't type. It's all. So I wonder if she or he has to talk in a very, very clear way, slowly, so everything gets picked up correctly.
I'm sure, yeah.
So they must have completely adapted their speech.
What if it's
and the way
and
they
what if it
talk.
automatically goes to all the different languages and there's characters in every country? Who knows?
I mean, but really, do you know who you're talking with on the other line on the internet anyway?
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
so this is not very different than who are you really talking to in the forums? You don't know their identity.
That's also a very big conspiracy theory about a lot of these VTubers is that they're old men with voice changers. And I mean, even if
How
they
much
are,
do you buy into that? Is it true or fake?
it's definitely true. It's happened before. There's people that have been exposed for that.
Agent V, your secret source. Can you reveal the gender?
It is a she. She goes by she pronouns. And then, so what she actually wanted to do was get a voice changer. So she came across as male.
Oh, she
Because-
wanted to be a man.
Correct. But she couldn't find anything that sounded quite like what she wanted. So she actually just was like, I'm just gonna be female because she's very comedic based. So, and a lot of people already have that stigmatism that women aren't funny. So she was scared that she was gonna get a lot of backlash for that because she's played a lot of video games in her time and she's already dealt with a lot of issues just based off any time that she talks in a game, she gets, stuff thrown at her and a lot of slurs and bad stuff. Like I've played
virtual
with
stuff
her.
thrown
Yeah,
at her. Yeah.
I've played with her and I've experienced it firsthand and it's a genuine problem.
Annoying,
and,
yeah.
it's just, it's really just annoying and it doesn't solve anything and it just causes problems.
What about objects? Do you know any VTubers that are objects?
No, but a lot of that's a big controversy right now is with the Projekt Melody thing. So let me get into that real quick.
Okay.
So about last year, the person that designed her rig. So she paid that person that was a designer and then they gave her that rig. And so what happened with that is she blew up. So the designer was trying to extort her for money and then threatened to dox her and everything like that. So it was very, very nefarious things, bad stuff. And so a big thing that happened with that was the news articles that was covering this, they didn't refer to her as her. They said that it was AI and only used it. So they're not even considering this a person. They're considering this an it. So that was a big thing that came up is because that's a person. That is an independent person that is paid for this rig, that is paid for that.
Yeah.
It's like if I pay somebody to make me an art piece, like... Sure, that's not my art, but guess what? I own that art. I can do with that as I please. That is what I paid that for.
Right.
That is what I paid for, is to use that at my own discretion with what I want. I can use that to make money. I've told you this, and we are under that
and especially
agreement.
if they I don't know if they signed a deal or anything, but yeah, that should be.
And the person that actually tried to extort her is very nefarious for doing these things, and is very, very. They charge low. They charge very low rates, and then once they blow up, they try to extort them.
Because one of the weird things about if you hide your identity, it becomes like a mystery, and you can get people super engaged into like doxing you and figuring out who it is. Where actually, if you come out and be like, "Here I am," people are like, "I don't care." Like, you know what I mean? You can be way more famous by being secret and then being exposed.
Oh, like Snoop Dogg when he was the NFT, right? When people didn't
What's
know
the story of that?
the tweet. Remember the famous Twitter account. And it was oh my goodness.
Oh, so they were pretending it was.
No, they didn't know it was Snoop Dogg.
Oh, he was
this famous NFT account on Twitter. They didn't know it was Snoop Dogg, and then he revealed his identity. I don't know the full story behind it.
Yeah.
But it was, and then they found out it was Snoop Dogg. They're like, oh, I didn't know he was big into NFTs. And
Yeah. But I'm just saying that you kind of put a target on your back when you show up and say, I'm not going to reveal who I am, because all of a sudden people are like, can we figure out the IP, start the mystery, see what they've typed on.
You put yourself in danger too, though, because like, what if somebody else could just take it, right? Can't somebody else create something similar to it if you don't really know who the original person is?
Kinda, yeah.
That
I mean,
is true.
depends. I mean, maybe if you have access over a certain account or something, or maybe NFTs, but yeah.
I mean, another big thing with that story with Projekt Melody as well is that guy actually he submitted to the United States government a copyright for that rig, even though that was her property. So what happened was Twitch, since they're we're very scared. So he actually went and copyright striked her whole channel. So everything, she got banned. Everything was taken down. It was under a DMCA. So her whole career was erased within a day.
Because he went and filed for it and then tried to use that as leverage, but...
Correct. Oh, he was also asking for $45,000 a month.
No.
And 25%
Wow.
merchandise sales. What is the word?
Royalties.
Yes, royalties. Thank you. Yeah, 25% royalties on all of her merch sales. So he was straight up extorting her, and he was doing fairly illegal
This
stuff.
got serious.
Yeah, there's a lot of ethical problems in this community that a lot of people don't necessarily talk about, and that isn't, put into the forefront. But yeah, there's a big issue with people being obsessed, and just another thing as well is people see these creators, these people, as objects. Like they don't see them as true people.
So it's attracting a weird crowd.
Correct. So they feel like this is also with other content creators as well. The viewer feels entitled to that content. Oh, you need to give me this video. Oh, you need to give me a video now.
Yeah, because they're building a relationship with a virtual character. But, relationships, they suck you in, and you can feel disappointed when they don't
And the people
have
that...
expectations and all that human stuff.
And the people that VTubers also attract as their fan base is also more so people that are like that are very like, oh, this is mine. Because they've spent so much time watching them, they feel like they're entitled to whatever they want, even though they don't understand that these are real people living real lives. And
Can you explain what a simp is to Rocky? Because she asked earlier.
I know, I'm over here looking like I got distracted by the...
So what do you think?
I'm like,
What do you think a simp is?
Yeah, what is your thought process on what
Before
a
we
simp is?
Okay,
Just
use
from
it
the
in a
word.
sentence, please.
Boy, you a simp.
You're simping over that girl right now, seriously?
Yeah, simps are just like
You're simping over that
hardcore-
girl right now. Seriously.
Okay, is it like someone who has a crush on something that's not like human?
Nah, I mean,
Not
it
necessarily.
Can, yeah.
The way that I would describe it is
Warmer.
being so
I don't
obsessed
know,
with
but-
somebody, just an individual entity that a lot of people online like, oh, a big proprietor of this is Amouranth.
Oh, yeah.
So she is what we call a bikini streamer.
hot tub streamer.
A real
Stream.
person?
Yes.
an
Yes.
avatar?
And
No,
No,
real
no,
person.
it's a real
Real
person.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And so she attracts a specific community that is very, they basically sit there, give her money because she is pretty.
Well,
They
you can
literally-
relate
But
to
she's
that
not
as a
naked.
female on live
No.
streaming before. Like, we had a lot of problems,
But
early on.
she specifically markets herself for this.
Oh, she does.
So
And
she's
she makes a lot of money. She's very successful.
Okay.
very successful. Yes, there's a lot of controversy with
I
her
mean,
as
that's
well.
in a lot of industries, people taking advantage of
Yeah,
that
she knows her
opportunity
market.
to
She's
make more
very
money.
very smart.
Okay, so
Yeah.
now what's your definite? Now do you understand the
Okay,
simp?
it's just someone who's obsessed with someone, right?
Well,
Yes,
yeah.
and they're willing to spend all their time and money on that person. Like,
Okay,
these
so
people
that
have quite
exists-
literally spent thousands of dollars just
Right.
giving this money to her
Right.
just to get recognized.
right.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. And you would think you'd be safer because you're not showing your real face, but instead, because it's dehumanized, because it's not your real face, they
People
feel maybe
treat you
more
worse,
more
yeah.
ownership in it.
Yeah.
Or
Yes.
more objectified?
More object. Oh wow, it's an object. Objectified.
Yeah, objectified. That's where it comes from. Can you Google what is a simp?
Okay.
Just kidding.
I thought
And
I
then-
wanted to do this.
wanna see what they
now,
actually
not so
define it
much.
as.
Are you familiar with Belle Delphine?
Oh, yes, sir. Oh, sorry. You're not asking me. You know, I know.
What? Google her.
I feel like I don't know
No, that's
anything
probably a
about
bad
this.
idea.
Yeah,
Oh,
that,
it's
that is
nudity?
quite literally a bad idea. She's
She's just a. I mean,
she was the first person to
can you
quite literally
define-
sell her bath water.
She's like the
Okay, we should look into that too.
internet's
Someone
first
else's-
e-girl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You bought-
that is
but yeah,
that is a
but you've
first.
never
Okay, so
bought-
that's
have-
someone who's
So if you buy
Simp?
bathwater, you're a simp.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
You're
fair.
giving literally.
Can you read the definition
You're giving
out loud?
$50
someone who
to
does way too
somebody
much
for
for.
bath water.
Yeah.
Water that they've
mean-
been in.
people pay for that for like celebrities. They were like, oh,
Yeah,
oh,
These
they,
people are internet celebrities.
Right, right. I mean, a
Someone who
basketball
does way
player,
too
their
much for a person
shoe,
they like. Okay.
I mean, quite
their
literally,
t-shirt.
OnlyFans runs off of simps. That is the only way that platform will make money is off of people simping and wanting to see other people.
Are there VTubers on that channel? And
I don't
on
know.
OnlyFans?
If they're on OnlyFans, they're not VTubers.
But it's interesting because it's not even a real person.
I
Like,
bet, I bet someone would follow a VTuber there. There's got to be somebody who's like.
I mean, it is.
It would be animated nudity, but
I
they'd probably pay
mean,
for
That's-
it.
but it's not.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I mean,
I mean, listen.
Patreon's the way to go if you're a
Listen,
VTuber.
listen. If we're being candid,
Patreon's
we're
one of the
being
main
real.
ways. I mean, I guess all the standard stuff applies, right? They sell merch. They sell, or talk to us about the. It does seem a bit unique that they ask for money in the chat to do something that seems kind of different than regular YouTubers, animate their character in a rare or unique way.
So CodeMiko
Right.
is one of the only people that actually do that though.
Mm-hmm.
Like other streamers have like sub goals and certain things. Like there's normally like it's a specific stream. Like if I hit this, then I'll do that stream. But she is one of the very, very few that promote that kind of interactiveness. That's why she is so profound and so well liked as well, because it gives people that sense of, oh, I'm a part of something because I did this.
Right.
I'm interacting with this directly. I am changing this as I am. So
They're
it
affecting
gives
the
that person
outcome.
kind of that you get sucked into it because you're just interested on what's going to happen next.
That's engaging.
So
It's
she's
like a
also,
game,
yeah,
yeah.
she's also
That's definitely
very
engaging.
creative though. Like besides
Oh,
just the whole
100%.
VTuber thing, like she's playing a game here, she's organizing, she's editing
Right.
really well.
Customizing.
She had a whole thing where like she would do interviews with other streamers as well.
Yeah, so she's definitely taking it to a different level.
Oh,
and do we know what
most
her face
definitely.
looks like, or is she still
Yes,
secret?
yes.
Oh,
she's
yeah.
very public with her face now. She used to not be, but
She
she's
got
been doing it
doxxed,
for
or
so
just
long.
want-
she
yeah,
was just not worried about it necessarily anymore.
That's
So
what she
she
looks
does
like?
make real life content as well.
Okay.
She does a lot of things with Pay Money Wubby. That's a big person that she is fairly close friends with, that they've hung out in person many a times. So she does do in-person things, and they used to refer to her
That
as a
seems cool.
person
So maybe a lot
as
of people-
technician. So they would have the model, and then she would be technician.
So she named her real life version.
Yes. So her real life wasn't.
So that's the
necessarily her
technician
name.
on the left.
Because
Yeah.
I do forget her name, but I'm fairly sure it is not Miko. It is like she
It's
actually
like Luna
has.
or something. I don't remember what it is.
Yes. She has a different name. So she goes by a few different names. So Miko, CodeMiko is the VTuber, kind of the 3D model. And then she labeled herself as technician since she did not want to, expressly say her name.
I mean, it's like there's different type of YouTubers. There's tech YouTubers. There's
Right.
beauty YouTubers.
Yeah.
And it's just like that makes sense. She has her own category.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to hide her identity because she's like, it's like, wow, how did she do that? Let me show you. I created
Right.
this. It's just, it's
Right,
cool.
like you'll talk about live streaming and she'll be talking about VTubing, and
Right.
it's just a different genre that they can both be kind of experts
There's
in.
room for everybody.
I personally know no one else at all similar to her. She is like very, very.
And she
This
is
is
the
kinda it.
biggest VTuber in the world.
I
She's
wouldn't
the
necessarily
She's
say
the
that.
Mr. Beast of it.
I would definitely say that she is fairly popular. I would say currently Ironmouse is actually more popular than CodeMiko.
And her identity secret?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the difference between like Thundercat and like Kendrick Lamar or something.
Yeah.
You know, like there's like underground fame and then there's like regular fame.
Because Ironmouse is just involved in so many different communities as well. She's just got notoriety over a lot of things. Like she was on the game show Hive Mind, which was a very big thing on Twitch for a while. Ludwig and Moist Critical, it was like their game show that Twitch sponsored. And so she was actually on that. It
CodeMiko
was
3.0. That's cool. She's got 3.0 versions, like her version control system.
Yeah, there's a history
For all her different
of,
avatars. That's so funny.
Yes.
That's really cool. No, that's next level.
How do they control their avatars? Is it
You just had a motion.
yeah, so I guess we could talk about that. So
Thing.
it could be motion capture on the high end with an entire suit and like an entire VR system. But what's like the person, Code V, that you got a interview with? What did you learn about her equipment setup?
So she is currently a PNG tuber. So all she needs, she doesn't need a webcam right now. All she needs is the software that her little guy runs off.
Oh,
of.
so anybody could get into this.
Yes, and then just a mic,
Oh.
because that mic knows when you speak, and it can sense the audio level, so it moves the mouth with that.
Do you think it's pretty profitable? Do you recommend it to somebody who just is looking for a job right now and wants to kind of just create content?
I would never ever recommend streaming or anything as a consistent source of income. Anything online is too volatile. There's so much luck based with it as well. There's obviously skill, and there's so much skill with that. But it's a lot of luck as well. Just being discovered, knowing people, building up that community, because it's not
Especially
an
on
easy
Twitch.
thing. Because just as a YouTuber as well, and there's so many VTubers coming to the scene currently as well, it's hard to make that difference from how you're different from everybody else.
Yeah, that's an interesting point because you have to think of what kind of avatar and what kind of character, and then you have to get people to believe in you.
Yeah, I
Then
would.
there's like network effects that'll be kind of hard to get into place.
I personally would never recommend anything art related as your primary job. I'd recommend you do that as a hobby for right now. Try to monetize that and then slowly work that up, because it's not just something that you can just, oh, I'm going to be an artist now, and then you do that.
Right.
You
like
calling me out directly, son?
I know. I feel the opposite though, because there's more creative freedom in this.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, if you're as talented as her, it doesn't matter that there's a sea of other content creators. She'll stand out because her work is so good.
That is true. But with any industry, look at how many amazing artists there are out there that are just so unrecognized because there's just a large amount of that.
There are, but I was live streaming travel when there was hundreds of thousands of other streamers, but I was consistent about one thing over and over again, and I attracted just the brands I wanted to work
hard
with.
work is going to get you
Consistency will get
obviously
you
better
far.
luck.
100%.
But I get what you're saying, though. It's not going to be an easy road. Just like
Correct.
becoming an influencer or getting 1 million followers is not easy. You have to commit
Okay,
to
if
it.
you are starting from scratch, what are the characteristics that are most important? Being a comedian, is that the main thing, or being a dancer? Do you think
Well-
that's the best thing? So you animated face.
you have your different categories for VTubing. You have your
or a writer, maybe a writer or a
degeneracy stuff. Like you have like your very random, quirky kind of like you are yourself. You can be a character, so that's like what your whole thing's around. You can be comedy based, which is what I would personally do, and that's kind of what me and Agent V is. We would do comedy more so rather than anything. You can just be an interesting person. Like a lot of the reason why a lot of people love VTubers is because it was like that early Smosh vibe of YouTube and that the early OG kind of like storytelling creators. That's kind of how they, present themselves. So that's another thing that you can do as well. You can do art-based stuff. That might be your specific niche. You can do video game stuff. You can do streaming.
Okay, so it's
anyone
very
in
much
anything.
What about education?
Spectrum.
Anybody ever done anything boring? Like any lectures and like TED Talk style stuff?
I haven't known anyone personally, and I don't know anyone.
All right, breaking in.
Yeah.
But I think there definitely are a few people that
like
are
Vsauce
like
or something would be cool.
Yeah, man. Matt pad it up.
Hey guys, let me show you how big the Earth is, or whatever,
Mm-hmm. The Corridor Digital crew, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
I would.
They got Markiplier as an intern now.
Or can you go to a website called This Person Does Not Exist? Have you guys seen that?
This person does not exist. Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
I've heard you talk about it.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, we'll just throw it up there. But it's interesting because it's just an AI that's generating faces. And it can generate, millions of these every second. But point is, there's a good example. But, none of those people are real. They were just generated on the fly. And you can generate millions of them in any ethnicity or any hairstyle. But they're totally photorealistic. So we're right on that verge where I'm like, well, if that software is just kind of connected to this, we should be looking at true photorealistic,
or like deep fakes, or
what do you think a future looks like with totally photorealistic VTubing?
I don't see that more so as a popular base. I think the fact that it is anime based is
the appeal.
Correct. That's a big
people
appeal.
Want to go
a
into
lot
a
of people.
Fantasy, into a story.
Yeah,
correct.
Like
they don't
VR
want
chat.
It to be reality.
VR chat's full of anime girls.
Exactly.
Metaverse
VR chat
probably going to be,
one of the biggest things that I personally think inspired VTubing to blow up as well.
Yeah, probably, definitely.
So you've never done it yet?
I have not yet.
Has he really?
Well, how would we know? We would never know.
Dun.
Yeah, what if he is?
He's actually Agent
What
V.
if he is Agent V?
Exactly.
You never know that kind of stuff.
It's a possibility. Gotta come check out the stream.
That's the mystery. Dogs him. Get it all figured out. Yeah.
So tell us, how much money can you make from being a VTuber?
Yeah, what are the top ones pulling in?
VTuber.
Any data on that you collected? Or your Agent V?
It's drastically different from person to person because if you're on Twitch, you have subscribers, which you can get a cut of that every month. So that's, if you're not a Twitch affiliate, you get $3 from that. You have YouTube ad revenue, which is a big one. And then you have just straight up donations that people make. So it is very, very changing on what you are doing and what content you're creating and what people like you. So for example, Ironmouse, I know for a fact off of just ad revenue is making $64,000 a month.
Wow.
The top ones, I believe, I can never pronounce
That's just
her
ad
name
revenue,
correctly.
plus sponsorships and all that.
Bing bong.
Yeah, exactly.
Sponsorships.
CodeMiko, I believe, is around the $48,000 a month just off of ad revenue, and that's not counting donations, and that's not counting Twitch subscribers. That is just off of ad revenue.
Wow, you don't even have to get out of bed. You don't even have to do your
could
hair.
You
don't even have to do your makeup.
Make money all day long on that. And then live in an animated house, and you're upset.
Right?
I believe the way you pronounce it is Guara or something similar to that. She's a little she's part of Hololive, so she's one of those people. She's a little fish girl basically. And I believe she is one of the top earners, and she's actually at $128,000 a month.
And I should imagine a fish face.
Oh no, she wears
not
the little
necessarily.
shark hat. Is that?
I was
So
imagining
she's got a
like,
little
like
shark
Nemo or
hoodie.
something.
She
Yeah,
changes her
hoodie.
colors.
Gotcha. I
That's
was
just
thinking
kind
like
of the
Nemo
scheme.
floating around. Okay, gotcha.
Yes, so she's very cute and wholesome. So with Hololive, so they're a bigger company. They have these talents. So she was part of the first generation English Hololive people. They're mostly based in Japan. They have a lot
That's where it's
of
biggest,
VTubers that are Japanese under their title. But she is the first generation that came over for English. We're on our second generation now. I believe she is part of the Mystic group. So she is the wholesome one. There is Mori, which is like music. There's the Squid Lady, which is just a very, very chillax. There's a Phoenix Lady that has like little chicken arms for hands. But she's a phoenix, and she's like into food and stuff.
So all these personalities and avatars are different, but they're in a group, so they come together every once in a while to like make Wrestlemania essentially for VTubers.
That's actually a great kind of segue into what I was going to talk about next. Is a lot of the appeal, I personally believe, of VTubers is the fact that it is just like WWE wrestling.
I can kind of see that. I mean, it came to my head that way.
Where these are,
think about it, they're like different characters. They step into roles. That's not their real people.
You know these are people, but you want to see them play that character. But you want that sense of realism in that real time.
Oh, gotcha.
So I feel like
this is the wrestling thing turned digital.
Yes, that is a lot of that same appeal.
Okay.
You see that movie Revenge of the Nerds? That's what this is, bro. I love it.
There is actually a few WWE wrestlers that are VTubers now.
Let's go.
Oh.
And so they're streaming and tubing, but they're kind of 50-50, you think?
I would definitely say a lot of it is you're a streamer. You're a streamer first and foremost, and then you take the pretty much just highlights and you just post that on YouTube, and that's kind of what you want.
Gotcha. So it evolved. Did it evolve from Twitch and it evolved from gaming?
So it did originally start out on YouTube as content like that, just because the Twitch scene wasn't necessarily as big yet, and it blew up mostly in, I believe it's 2015. That's when VTubing got its real start.
All right.
And then CodeMiko, I believe, has been doing this since 2018. So she's been doing it for 4 years now. But it really started, I believe, mainly on YouTube, because that's the name. VTuber is for virtual YouTuber, because no one really says V-streamer. VTuber is a V-streamer, just because that's integrated so much into one. It's mainly just you talk online as a streamer, and then you just take those highlights, because you also have that interactivity, and you just post that. Like the one that we looked at earlier, Gao Gara, she actually just takes full-on VODs from her stream and just posts it on her YouTube. So her YouTube videos, there's a few of them that are straight up 2.5 hours to 4 hours long, just on there.
Wow.
They're just the stream, just repurposed. Advertising money comes in. Genius.
There is quite literally so much VTuber content, especially just from Hololive as well, that there's no possible way that if you only watch Hololive characters in English, you could not physically have enough time in the day to watch all of it.
Wow.
There is just so much content that is never ending that you're able to just continually watch.
Think Hololive becomes as big as a major movie studio like Warner Brothers?
I would definitely say they're similar to Machinima as of right now, before Machinima's fall.
Wow.
Because that was like beginning YouTube. That was like, because they're owned by Hololive, but it is, you get so much money to put towards your VTuber avatar, and to just, you have all that publicity because people already know Hololive. That's a well-known brand. So they look to that, and then, oh, you're a new streamer on there. You instantly get that boost. And that's why they kind of justify being with Hololive. But it's very interesting, the dynamic that they have as well with like Korean K-pop bands as well.
How let's talk IP. Like,
how they're...
You started that conversation before, but yeah, tell me about who owns the characters and how Hololive works these deals out with the talent.
So I don't know necessarily how they work those deals. I just know that they owned quite literally everything about that character and all of the content, and they just get a royalty from it. And they put a lot of money towards these people for their avatar and everything like that, and for them to do things.
Right.
But they give them that publicity. So you think
the sales department at this company is calling up really funny people on YouTube and saying, hey, if you start streaming and putting our avatar on top of you, we'll split the revenue, we'll push people to you, and they're developing talent?
So
something like that?
Funny thing about that, if you actually go on the Hololive website, scroll all the way down, there's a button called audition. They have people come to them.
Okay.
So
really they don't have to go and seek people out.
Okay, but that's what they're looking for. They're big enough that they just...
You could be a voice actor.
Yes.
You could be funny. You could be entertaining, and you can just have a turnkey solution to become a VTuber.
Correct. But the issue with that as well is they own that character now.
Right.
That individuality is kind of gone.
What would you recommend to someone, that they become one of the Holo stars, or that they try to do it on their own?
I would ask you, if someone wants to get into this,
do you think
give
it's
us some
worth
tips?
Yeah,
it's more so if you want to build up a community around yourself and your content and be more individualistic, or if you just want money now. So if you want money now and you want to make this your job, I would definitely say go for Hololive and everything like that. But it is so hard because there's only 10 VTuber streamers in English with Hololive. That is it. That's all they have. They're constantly, every year I believe that they're trying to get 5 more just so they can, they call them generations when they release them all at once. And it's like they're this group that they interact with each other. They automatically have this kind of group setting so they can bounce off of each other, and they're very, very drastically different characters. So it's a big thing for people to like be involved with that. But that also goes back to like with BTS and all those Korean K-pop bands, how they're called idols. So your personality, your look, and everything like that is owned by that company. Like people
with K-pop,
yes,
they can't just take their own character is it a character or like
like the
break
army,
off like One Direction and become their own solo artist.
you can't do that.
I thought that.
But One
I thought in
Direction-
BTS they are good. I thought they were breaking into solo, like taking a break.
The company does that. They
the
can't
company
personally
decided
They
were
live in
gonna-
like dorms. They
I
can't
didn't know
leave.
that.
Yeah, they live in dorms. Their diet's
boy
heavily
army.
monitored. Their social media isn't controlled by themselves. What they say, and they have to learn different languages. You're basically put through school in order to become that. It's quite. You literally take certain classes.
I mean,
in order to
it's a
become that.
job, but it's all encompassing. It's controlling your.
I want to be a star. Make me a star.
Yeah.
But I mean, we do that here too. That's why they have music record labels, and they turn you into a bigger star. They front the money.
I thought
and they
the future was going to have less of that, but BTS maybe is old. Maybe that's the end.
Well,
of the
it's
old
all
era.
K-pop bands.
No, it's all of them.
No,
Yeah,
it's serious. Like we love it.
They're hardcore.
Yeah.
If you could have a shortcut to fame by having someone coach you and manage every aspect of your life so that you have a greater chance of success, you're saying, would you do it or would you start from scratch?
But I don't see it as coaching. I see it as control.
Too much.
They want to control you. They
coaching
want
or
you.
control.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's a fine line. It's an
You
opinion at the end of the day.
are
but
an object to that company.
I wouldn't
You
want it either.
Well, that's why artists or musicians are breaking away from record labels,
Yeah.
right? They're
Yeah.
like, I want to own my name, my content. I want to
Seems
make
like
the
a
music
good
I
time
want
to
to
do
make.
that. Yeah, like
Yeah.
especially if you start creating the character of VTuber and you succeed and you make other characters to interact with, then you could be what HoloLens or Hololive is.
I could be
Thank
the
you,
one in
Chance the
control.
Rapper.
I don't know, or something. At least build that company. Yeah.
And then also, real quick, going back to like the BTS stuff. So there was this guy that it's fairly I wouldn't say famous now, but he was part of like a game show of like the end prize is you become one of them. You become a part like you become an idol. So they quite literally own you.
Oh, VTuber
Okay,
American
we have
Idol is a
American
thing?
Idol. Yeah, we have American Idol where they
Yeah,
don't
that's what
own
VTuber.
themselves. They have a contract.
Can we see the so is that can we look that up on YouTube?
I don't know, but he's outspoken about just being trapped. Like he wasn't able to control anything in his life. He felt quite literally trapped, and it was agony for him. Like he didn't want to win that show. He purposely tried to lose that
That's
show.
interesting, which probably helped
Really?
him win it. But yeah.
But since everyone loved him so much, and it was a fan voting show, they voted him in. So he was quite literally trapped.
And then did he turn it down at the end of the day?
No, he was already in that contract. He had to sign that contract before he went on that show. As if he was voted in, that's what he had to do.
He signed up for it,
So he
But
quite
then
literally
later
didn't have a
wanted to get
choice.
out.
but
Yeah.
then
that.
later wanted
Yeah.
to get out of it. I mean, that's music artist. I mean, I'm not going to change the topic, but I mean, yes, the musician Prince changed his name to get away from the record label, right?
'Cause they owned his other brand.
To
huh?
own, right?
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
own himself.
It's quite honestly, I personally feel that it's very predatory to younger
That's
people
what I
that
was
want
gonna
that
say, yeah.
fame. They see that and then they try to take advantage of it, and then they're able to. They find out how to do it. You're under contract, and that's a big like legal thing in South Korea. So it is. I wouldn't say necessarily it's a vicious cycle, but it is definitely an unhealthy
Something to be
environment
careful
for a
about,
lot of
yeah.
that content that's being created based around those people. So somebody that you think is very happy in their scenario, like with BTS as well, that they want to be a part of that,
I'd probably
they
steer
might
away
not.
from so much talking about BTS
Yeah.
for your future VTuber career.
But yeah,
It's like-
Wow.
I'm low key terrified of the BTS stands, man.
yeah, I was like, I really feel like
they're
we should stay clear of
hardcore,
the
dude.
Hive and the army.
Oh yeah. Do they have do they have like a thing? Like, are you part of the Miko army or something like that? Do they have?
so everyone kind
they
of
call
calls
their
their
audience?
fans different things.
Yeah. What are some of the names they call their fans?
I know the Hololive that's very very chill. That's a squid lady. Is they're like part of a cult. Like that's their thing.
Oh, they call it the
Oh,
cult.
okay.
Yeah,
Cult.
they're cult members basically. It's a specific thing that they say.
They
I
should call
forget
them the
what
squid
it is.
catchers, or the squiddies. Or
It's similar to that, but
Squid
with
Nation.
cult in the name.
Yeah, Squid Nation, gather together, band together.
Was that your voice?
No. Yeah.
Squid Nation.
Yeah, everyone has kind of their own
Miko
chat.
coders or something.
Interesting.
Like that's just a stream thing as well.
So
Like,
who's your
you have to
favorite? Like,
have-
what did you like when you were investigating all this? Like, did you find someone that you're like, oh, now I want to actually like be more involved in watching this person's content, or are you less into it now than when you started?
Well, I'm already pre-exposed to Ironmouse and like CodeMiko. Those two are
So they're
by
your
far my favorites, most definitely. There's a lot of very interesting people that I've seen now, and it's a lot bigger than I thought. But I mainly watch Agent V and that kind of group. I like more so the lower people that aren't, already have this massive popularity, because I kind of feel like I'm supporting someone.
Yeah.
Right.
You're,
So
you're
who's
there
the
from the
smallest
beginning.
person that you like? Who seems like they're...
Agent V, who started VTubing quite literally about a month ago.
What's some jargon? How do they talk to each other that we would be like, what the heck does that mean?
It's mostly just kind of Twitch speak.
Internet talk.
Can you go check the comment
Yeah,
section
let's talk
of
some
like
Twitch speak.
Miko or something? Yeah.
Y'all know what poggers means?
No, what's
You
No.
guys are totally not PogChamp right now.
What
Are
are
y'all
you saying about
familiar
me?
with,
What do you guys mean?
Pepe the Frog. People
know
with
Pepe.
hands,
Me,
white
I've
people
seen
happy.
Pepe the Frog. What's he represent?
It's
Depends
just-
on who you are.
Yeah, I mean, there's a
He's
whole
like the face of
movement.
the internet, right? Or that's what...
One
Yeah,
of those-
a big
It's
NFT guy.
it's gone through a lot of controversy of people trying to make it an alt-right meme.
It's been racist. Yeah, I've heard that.
It's not racist at all. People
Okay.
have tried to make it racist.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's not racist in its essence. It's
Okay.
just funny. I don't know. It was a frog that came around in like the 2012.
What's the pog thing?
Oh, so pog means
Never heard
like
that.
it means you're doing good. Like it originated from play of the game.
Okay.
So it
Play
originated
of the
from
game.
the
Gotcha.
best play in the game. That's how it was original came out, and then it's just evolved into a word like poggers, PogChamp. Like it means that you're doing a good job. Like I
Okay.
commend you, basically. Like it's just giving a thumbs up, just as Twitch speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Can you read some of those? Can you just read top comments?
Mousy is googling. Well, that's
Could you read
Goblins,
without laughing, please?
you
Is
know.
it possible?
But she is also precious. Would hug her if I wouldn't probably kill her. V-hug attached. Virtual hug attached.
Do these seem like
Aw.
standard comments?
yeah, goblin,
pretty
calling people
sweet.
goblins. That's pretty common.
Goblins?
Tsundere, that's an anime term, so that just means that
That's
you're
my
very
favorite.
you're protected, you're mean to people, but you're very soft inside.
Do you have a preference? That's my preference. All right, we're not talking about that right now. Never mind.
I mean, Tsunade.
Yeah, okay. There
I'm
you
a
go.
little Naruto in there. I'm a surface level weeb.
I don't
I'm
know
not
what's
very
going on.
into it, but
Do you understand what he's saying?
Water jagged jutsu,
No.
brother. We'll send that over to you.
Like feed me lines so I can sound like a real VTuber.
it's a lot of anime speak.
Yeah.
It's a lot of streamer
Or like
speak.
gaming stuff, like League of Legends stuff. I love the cadence of their speech sometimes with like storming A, you know, that kind of talk. That kind of
Demonstrate
stuff.
that
It's
for us.
hard to like say it when it's just that's how you speak.
I know, it's so fun.
Because it's hard to be like, what is the specific area of my language that is different from
Yeah.
other people? It's like,
Let's just show them
people-
a pay money will be video.
yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, seriously.
So
'Cause-
it'll be a lot of referencing from inside the game. So like this character will have a personality, and they'll be like, "Don't act like that," or something.
yeah, it's a lot of references to in the game to specific channels. They have very specific like jokes and memes of their channel and kind of how they interact with the people of their channel. So there's
and
a
all
lot
the
of
VTubers have done that. They've all built up personalities and interactions.
I mean, that's what streaming is. It's putting your personality out there in a
That's true.
safer way.
No,
in
it's
my
true.
opinion.
It is because I mean I don't think I'm the most interesting person, but I built a loyal community of people who like to talk to me. Some people say, "Oh, you have an accent." I didn't realize I have an accent, but the way I talk is, I
Got a
guess,
style
similar
to it.
based on where I'm from. And then other people say, "Oh, you sound very monotone, like Kardashians or something. Like you talk." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't realize that about myself."
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, it's your personality.
So what kind of VTube avatar would you want to be?
Definitely lifestyle. I would just be like
Similar to
every day.
yourself.
I would just be myself, but it'd be great because I wouldn't have to really turn on the camera except for the face mapping. but just
You would
daily life.
You would do an anime face? You like that
No,
style?
I would do
A gun.
definitely one. What is it? 2D? Like definitely one that moves.
PNG.
Moves. Like I
So more
want
than
Yeah,
PNG,
2D,
right?
2D. I would definitely do a 2D one where it's just like lifestyle. Like, oh, good morning. Oh, we're having lunch. Or I'm working. You could hear the keys click, and I'm working on my computer. And I would bring a guest on, but it would be like, was it 1D? Like it'd be a video. Like if I had a guest, I'd just bring them in by Zoom or something. It'd be a real
So
person.
you'd see the like, and then you'd be the cartoon
I'd like
character
that,
next to
right?
it.
Yes.
What software should she download? What is?
Live 2D is by far the most popular and most used out of all software for VTubers. Is
Live
Live
2D.
2D.
All right, let's check
Yes.
that
How
out.
much does this cost per month?
I believe it's free.
What?
Yeah, it's free.
Try. We could be live. We could be VTubing
Bro.
for free.
By tomorrow.
As long as you could. Do you have Blender? Do you have Maya?
Yes.
Do you have Photoshop?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's
yes.
go. Let's
Adobe
go.
Creative Cloud. I'm ready.
I mean,
That's the
yeah.
skills they would need. Is some Photoshop. Just.
I
to-
mean,
probably
Maya and Blender would be more so for your 3D. Photoshop is something easy that you can do for 2D. PNG Tuber, all you literally need is you can go to something so old and so basic as Fire Alpaca and do pixel art, and you'll be able to do that.
Dude,
Okay.
I am so good at Blender, bro. I'm doing this tonight.
Yeah, it's fairly easy if you have your idea of what you want to do and just to get it across. I know a lot of people
Is anybody
use
a Minecraft
Photoshop.
character?
I don't know.
That would be sweet. Just do the blocky thing and be like, "Hey, everyone," you know?
It'd
like
be
or like a
easy.
Lego thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be so fun. And you'd be like,
I
and They
know-
could just map your arms to it.
Well,
That'd be
Thinknoodles,
cool.
which is a YouTuber, is a VTuber. They
check out
actually use
Thinknoodles?
they use the pig version of the iPhone face capture. That is their
The
ID.
emojis?
Like
Oh,
they
that
use the emoji
thing.
stuff. He mainly uses the pig one. That is the one that I know.
This one?
Yes.
Oh, just watch out. I'm going to use my memoji.
Yeah, you should. Why not?
There you go.
Yeah, it's very, very popular.
Oh, why is it not the
So
Oh, I
he
see.
does a lot of
He's just that icon in the top right. Just
yes. And then another popular VTuber for like the kid age as well is SmileC. I believe that's her name. It is CookieSwirl. That is the other
Wait,
Cookie
what?
Swirl.
CookieSwirl.
You haven't
That is
heard?
the other VTuber that is that I've known for children. Yeah, CookieSwirlC.
Aw, this one's cute as heck. Got little
Yes.
bunny ears and I need to chill. What the hell?
I
I've been
believe-
looking at VTubers for way too long, my guy.
No,
This is
yeah,
wild.
they're
No, you
very well
definitely
done.
got it.
There's a lot of
Your
very
assignment
cute
has
and
gone
wholesome
overboard.
ones. It's a lot of like Five Nights at Freddy's content, like Roblox, like very specifically towards children. There
That's
is
very
viewer base in the
specific
middle
towards
as well.
children.
Roblox.
Little,
Just from the content
Goo goo
alone,
gaga, brother.
I automatically assumed that it was for children when I first looked at it.
Okay. I mean, could be, but she seems fairly adult.
No, it is for children. If you look
This-
at the other stuff for like Five Nights at Freddy's and stuff, no adult watches Five Nights at Freddy's currently.
Hang on a second, fella.
That video game is
you
scary
watch
in a non-scary
VTubers
way.
play Five Nights at Freddy's right now.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. When I was 20, that game scared the crap out of me, man.
Okay, but that was when you were 20.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
8 years
true.
ago.
Yeah, fair. Hey, man, we gotta give out my age like that, bro. I'm trying to VTube next
Bro, don't
week.
dox him like that.
I know.
I'm 14. Or wait, no, that's
I think
not-
that's worse.
Yeah, that's worse.
Yeah, might as well go up.
Oh, what was yours? What did you already talk about? Like what yours would look like
I'd
if you made one?
Oh, yeah.
You
what
said,
would-
yeah. What would you do? Yeah.
So for mine, it would be very much so.
Because you said it was all those.
Cryptids?
Yes,
Cryptids,
cryptids, and I would have it very stylized in Agents V. I would have her set it up for me, so I would want it stylized in her art. So I would want it that way. I would personally do a PNG tuber as a start, and then I just have various cryptids kind of in the background that I'd ask her to do for me as well.
Okay.
Stream deck basically. So the way that I would describe her style is fairly cartoonistic, hard lines, fairly well shaded, but it is most definitely styled in her way. That's how I would personally want it, because she would be the main, inspiration for me to
Yeah.
even start this. So I kind of want to pay, that tribute, support her as well. But
It'd be sweet. What if they did a claymation one? Like, you know how that claymation style
That'd
looks?
be cool.
Like, I
That'd
bet
be
that
insane. I didn't even think about that.
Have
That's
you
so
looked at-
cool.
the way that I would prefer mine to be designed, I would have my old long hair. I'd have my mustache, goatee, and full facial hair. I'd have giant red circles underneath my eyes. I'd look really, really tired, so it kind of matched the theme.
Little corpse husband action. Let's go.
Would you try
A
to be
little
grumpy?
bit.
Would you be like grumpy
Yeah.
and mean?
I mean, the whole shtick
like
is
beat
that
up.
I'm in a 7-Eleven stuck in an interdimensional area with cryptids just wandering in, and I don't have any kind of way to get out.
And
so I'm
so life for
constantly
you is
bothered
just
by this.
Yeah, you're just beat up and worn
Correct.
out.
Yes.
and like,
just kind of in purgatory almost, having
Gas
to deal with this
station, River
constantly,
Styx. I like
and just
it.
kind of.
and they're always coming in trying to like order stuff, and you're dealing with it. Are you the attendant? Yes.
Yeah, I would be the attendant, so I would have
Like
a hat on backwards.
spill in the bathroom. Be like, I gotta go fix it.
Yeah, that's like how I would, I would have my, like taking a break. It'd be me like mopping or something in a 7-Eleven with just like stuff running behind.
And like that terrible lighting that flickers and a
Yeah,
fly
yep,
that like
exactly.
comes around and like
Everything
lands on
kinda
your character.
glitching every
That'd
now
be
and
cool.
then.
And then if people give you enough money, then you'd be like, then I'll mop for you if I can get to $10 or something.
I don't know.
And then
I
you
don't
would
know if
press
I'd do something like
then
that.
you would press your stream deck button and your character would mop.
I would definitely probably have a stream where I would do things that I would specifically design for that, and I'd pay to have that done. But I don't know if I would have like people pay me, just because I don't think I'd be big enough to have that kind of demand.
Really? 10 cents?
Because you
50
definitely.
cents?
Well, you can't donate
Super
anything
chat,
under
whatever?
$1. That's like the main thing with,
Oh.
because I would stream on Twitch or I would stream on YouTube, where YouTube doesn't. I don't even know if YouTube right
Micropayments.
now.
You
Come
never
one day.
know. People
Mike-
pay for bath water. They'll pay for anything.
I would have to get that demand first. So I think once I had demand like that, I'd possibly do that.
Anything's possible. You can go viral.
My thought of what VTubing is now today, the first real VTuber was Kitsune AI, or Kitsune AI.
She's the one that really made it in this community all kind of tied together,
Yes.
right? This kind of Japanese animation.
Right. There's a lot of anime.
You haven't named anybody that's not anime.
Annoying Orange is an anime. Thinknoodles
you-
isn't technically anime.
But it's
Agent V is an anime, but that is normally the most popular thing. But
But it's branching now.
Kitsune AI is 2015. This is where everything for VTubers, what it is now today, blew up. This is
That's a
the
nine-
first break open
It's like 9
VTuber in
million views
my
on that.
eyes.
Okay. Wait, how many million? 3 million?
And it
3 million
is
subs.
pretty widely agreed that this is the first one as well.
Huh. Do they show up to VidCon and stuff? Have you
I know
ever?
VidCon's going on right now, right?
Yeah, or I guess so.
Well-
You told me that, huh?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you almost should be there,
Yeah,
right?
I have a ticket, but I'm.
So
Oh, should we live stream like
Oh,
VidCon?
let's go.
But
I've
a lot
always
of
wanted to
creators
go to
are live
VidCon.
streaming it,
Let's
so we
go.
could just
Yeah, we
watch
need to do
them.
it for a work. We gotta do it for a work thing, David.
Let's do it.
Let's go there right now. Let's
You
use your
should, you have-
ticket.
Oh,
We
yeah,
could-
you can.
Feel like if we take
It's
your
just
ticket and
there.
drive there.
there's also a bit of debate on gorillas being it, like Vocaloids, Hatsune
yeah.
Miku being the
What?
first quote unquote VTuber. So
Hatsune Miku.
Vocaloids
Those are just
is
animated.
Oh,
videos.
gorillas, like
Yeah.
the band.
yes,
Like you've seen them
I
live.
love that.
What did they do?
Useless.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah,
I like that.
I remember that
because yeah,
video.
you go to a concert and you're like, wait a second.
that
Yeah,
they put
they,
on the
they don't
stage?
have they used to not have their faces linked up with what they were. They were only these animations. This is what their live show was. So that's why a lot of people
So they would
say
be
that this
performing
was,
behind the screen.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even know this. Oh, interesting.
Gorillas are so sick. I love them so much.
Me too.
Wow. So their live show, they would be behind the screen, not revealing their face,
Yes.
living through these avatars.
I'd never been to a concert, but
Wow. Yeah. This looks awesome. I didn't
So,
know. they
It's
did
like those
concerts.
Pink Floyd concerts that were just like over the top crazy.
Like the Laser Floyd stuff. and
Yeah,
everything like that.
exactly.
So their characters were, and they just never changed them. So they were animated and then 3D and have that same look.
Yeah, because those are based off of the people.
wow.
So there's a whole nother section called Vocaloids.
Yes, so that's
These are
Hatsune
musicians.
Miku.
These are VTuber musicians.
Yes.
But they perform live, so it's different each experience, which is not like
Not
watching
necessarily
Well,
either.
then it's just watching a music video.
Yeah, in person.
Oh, people go hard for it, man.
Ariana Grande performed in
In the metaverse.
the metaverse
That VTuber?
as an avatar.
Yeah, what about metaverse stuff?
I would personally consider that VTubing as well. If it's not your face. If it's an animation over what you are and it's
Right.
not your body, then yeah. If it's not a live video of you, then I
was like-
personally would.
What about the is this the same thing that Tupac or whatever that was?
Oh, the
Was that a VTuber Tupac? You know
that
what I'm
was
talking
like
about?
a hologram.
Oh, you were like
Hologram?
the Whitney Houston hologram? You
Yeah,
mean like that?
holograms. Is that VTubing?
That
that's just
I
pro-
think
isn't it
that
just-
may be considered a Vocaloid rather than VTubing, because there's a lot of contention on whether Gorillas and Hatsune Miku is considered a VTuber because they are already considered Vocaloids. But I personally kind of see it as squares and rectangles. So
Oh, that's
where
interesting. Okay.
where VTubers is more so
all got
the
edges.
grand scheme in my mind, at least, even though that the word quite literally means virtual YouTuber. It's kind of transcended more so that definition. So personally, I kind of view that as that's the square, while Vocaloids, I wouldn't always consider, like, not all VTubers are Vocaloids, but Vocaloids I personally consider VTubers.
Okay.
So it's anything more so with a 3D render on something either live or something that was live, like mocap.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for coming out here to explain
Yeah, of
VTubers.
course.
It's very interesting to hear about this community. So thanks for researching it. And I'm glad you made it out safe from Agent V, because you went deep undercover for that one. And
Thank you for
nobody
having
knows
me.
what happens when you go that deep down. So I'm glad you made it
Exactly.
safe.
I might not come out alive after this.
Yeah.
I know, you
but
may have
did.
said too much.
You said too much, yeah. And Rocky, thank you too. I appreciate
Yeah.
you bringing the stream deck out and just talking to us about streaming and sharing your thoughts.
I learned
Yeah,
so
thank
much.
you. It's been a great experience.
Okay, bye.
That was it. Yeah.